Kim Kardashian says that she was DTF and heard all about Pete Davidson's BDE. Welcome back to our channel, guys. We're here to talk all about the Kardashians' most recent episode on Hulu. But before we get into it, make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up and let us know your thoughts in the live chat and in the comments down below, because this episode was a doozy. As always, I'm your host, Zachary Reality, with the lovely Kardashian lover, Allison Van Dam. Allison, we have like 2 episodes left after this one. So what did you think of last night's episode?
I thought it was good. I mean, we like kept things moving a little bit. We got Chris's masterclass. We got Kim's plane that we have to get into.
Yeah.
We finally got some details on Kim and Pete, which I thought was really, really cute. And, you know, we got a Kourtney Gwyneth Paltrow collab, and there was the tease for the Tristan drama. That's my one critique. I wish we would have gotten some of the Tristan drama, because it's just kind of been building for multiple episodes. And I don't mind if you lay the groundwork one episode and bring it to me next week, but we've been laying the groundwork for a few weeks now.
Yeah, and we gotta kind of give our predictions at the end of the live, because next week is gonna be crazy. But what I loved about this week is that we got like all of the details on Kim and Pete. I mean, Kim really did let us know how it all went down, and who knew that Kim made the first move. So she did reveal that she was upset that Pete Davidson did not come to her after party from Saturday Night Live. She's like, everybody was at my after party. So she decided to reach out to a producer days later to get Pete's number, and she made the move and texted him first. She said that she felt a spark when they kissed during the Aladdin and Jasmine scene, and that she was DTF and she heard all about his BDE. Are you surprised to hear that Kim made the first move? And why do you think Pete didn't show up? Was he playing hard to get, maybe?
I'm not surprised whatever that Kim made the first move. I mean, even she was talking about it. She's in this new phase of life. She's, you know, fully off and away from Kanye. She's making decisions on her own, whether that be fashion or, you know, the Vogue cover. She was about to shoot Sports Illustrated, going on SNL. She's doing a lot of things that are out of her comfort level. And I think this is just one of those many things that do kind of push her a little bit further out of her comfort zone. And the reason he didn't go to the after party is because we also heard that he asked Megan Fox for her number. I mean, I guess I don't know the timeline of it all, but Megan shut him down and said, you know, there's more of a likelihood that we get eaten by crocodiles than you would ever get her number, and you'd like be in her league and da da da. Like, that's hurtful. And so if I got a text like that and got fully shut down, I would be like, okay, yeah, I guess I'll just keep my distance. I won't do anything. I won't go to the after party. Like, that's kind of a hard thing to get over.
To swallow. Well, I think it just shows how close Megan and Kim are. They're not close at all, because Kim obviously was interested in Pete. You know, she heard about his BDE, but also Kim didn't really know Pete too well until Saturday Night Live, until they had that kiss and that spark on set, on stage, for all of us to see. So I think that maybe Megan should have checked with Kourtney to check with Kim first. But it's interesting to see kind of how it all played out, because the two of them are really hot and heavy. It was nice to see Kim open up to her sisters, you know, and the producers and all of us about the relationship, because she has been keeping it a secret for a little bit. She said that she didn't want to share it on the show for it to not work out, and then all of a sudden, like, everyone make fun of her and call her these names. So that's why she decided to take her time. And she also shared a really cute conversation between North and Mason, where Mason was telling North that having a stepdaddy isn't so bad. You know, it's not as bad as you see it in the movies, because it's actually fun. And Mason and Travis have this great relationship, and maybe, or when, or I mean, I guess they already have now, but with Kim introducing Pete to North, it really could be a fun thing. And Kim is really hoping for that relationship to build over time. She even shared that she was one step behind Kourtney, which I thought was very, very interesting, because Kim is always, in my opinion, 10 steps ahead of Kourtney. But what did you think of that conversation?
I mean, I think it's natural no matter who you are. Like, if you grew up with sisters, Kim's always going to feel like Kourtney's little sister. And they're so close in age. I think they're like 18 months apart or something, that she's probably always felt like, whether it was in school or whether it was with boys, like one step behind. I think it is cute that despite her literally being a billionaire and having her own plane, she still feels like the younger sister to Kourtney. But I think it's a good realization for her to have that the kids are okay. And we've discussed this throughout the season with especially the Kravis engagement. And the girls have talked about their relationship with their dad and with Caitlyn and how that took, a while to be a very cohesive family unit. And I think they're all just kind of learning of what the best, healthiest way is to deal with, the fathers of their children versus who they're dating now. We've had conversations of, this family really doesn't get rid of people. Suddenly they're moving in across the street. They're always invited to family get-togethers. So I think Kim's taking it slow, but I think it's good to see through Kourtney's experience that it can be, a very healthy, normal relationship. It just might take a little bit of time to establish what the new normal is.
Yeah, and Pete and Kim are still going strong. I mean, that's her boyfriend. So I'm excited to see next season. Hopefully, Pete is featured more. But we've definitely been waiting to get these details for a while. They met on the Saturday Night Live in the beginning of the season, episodes 1 through 3. And then here we are on episode 8. So it's like probably about a month later that they've been talking, and she's ready to talk about it, maybe closer to 2 months. So they seem super happy. She is definitely getting it on. As she mentioned, she was DTF. She's trying to get her spark back. She's trying to find Kim again. And we're going to talk a little bit more about Kim in a few, but I want to get into this Kourtney and Gwyneth Paltrow meetup. Two literal icons coming together in the wellness space. Allison, what did you think about the two of them teaming up?
Like, of course they teamed up. You know what I mean? Kourtney just got off of a 12-day cleanse where she's steaming her vagina. Gwyneth's out here naming her children Apple and has, coochie candles. Like, of course they're going together. Like, would not be my vibe whatsoever. Like, you can see me at the McDonald's or the Taco Bell drive-thru. Like, I am not one of those organic, like, cleansy people. And so in that way, I'm like, yeah, I probably wouldn't be super tight-knit with either Kourtney or Gwyneth, but of course they're besties. But I did enjoy the whole kind of dialogue and conversation about, being two females in business, supporting each other as opposed to tearing each other down. They are in a similar space with Goop, with Poosh, being in the wellness space. And so it is an important message to convey that, women should be uplifting each other and helping each other and doing these sorts of collaborations as opposed to viewing it in a much more, competitive, all business mindset.
Yeah, I mean, Goop, Poosh, there's double O's. It's a really perfect collaboration, and they're coming together to make this candle, which is going to show women, as you mentioned, that people in the wellness space can support each other. And I really like this for Kourtney, is that she got a lot of heat for years about not working hard, not having her own business, and she's really taking Poosh and bringing it to life and doing it on her own. Kendall does modeling, Kylie and Kim are really big in makeup and skincare and fashion. Of course, Khloe's in fashion. So Kourtney is really separating herself from her other sisters, and she's doing the avocado Poosh smoothies, and she's doing the candles, and she's taking over the wellness space one step at a time. How proud are you of your girl, Kourtney? I know you love her. Do you think that her and Gwyneth's, collaboration is going to be a hit?
Oh, I'm sure it will be. Let's be real. Kris Jenner is still very much at the head of this ship. If we're going to do anything, it's going to be a success. But I am really happy for Kourtney because we've watched Kourtney from, episode 1, dating Scott. We've watched her go through the roller coaster with Scott, having 3 kids with him, going out on her own, trying to figure out her identity, and now being super, super happy with Travis. So we've really watched her evolve over the years and, be very anti-show, then come back and still work on the show, not even really be that close with her sisters at a time. And so I think it's clear that she has struck out a balance that works for her between filming, between Poosh, and especially dedicating a lot of time to her family. So I'm happy that she's at peace. I'm happy that she's found, a schedule and a routine that works for her because for a while, I didn't even know if she was going to still be on the show. We watched that whole fight between her and Kim about her being the least interesting to look at. And I was like, I don't know how we go back from here. We had the physical altercation where they left makeup on Khloe's wall. Like, it's been a tumultuous time, but she seems very happy. I mean, clearly she's very happy with Travis. We see them make out every episode, but I'm very happy for her.
Yeah, Kourtney's giving us a lot this season. I mean, she gave us the proposal, but something that just came into my mind is that there's been no sister fights this season when you mentioned that. Like, we've always kind of enjoyed, or maybe we hated, like, watching the sisters fight for so many years when they were on E, but this new show on Hulu is really about their businesses, their relationships, the children. Where are the sister fights? Have they just finally come to a place where they're going to support each other and they've matured? Or do we think it's just a different type of show and maybe E was kind of like instigating fights because they were like, you need fights. That's what drama and reality TV is all about.
I think it's both. I think when they started out on E, especially like in the very early seasons, we've heard from them like they were supposed to be filler season 1. They didn't think they'd have a season
Yeah.
2. So it was looking back and rewatching those really old seasons, it was like yelling, screaming, very like raunchy. It's a very different Kardashian than we see now, but I think they were just trying to get buzz. They were trying to push the boundaries so far that people were talking about them and they could get a season 2. And so we've watched this evolution from them being kind of like a crass, like crazy family to very like mature billionaire businesswoman. And I think that's like an interesting trajectory to watch as well. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would hope that at this point, they're all mothers other than Kendall. They're all out here doing amazing careers. Like, what do those fights really give us? I would so much rather see the behind the scenes, the business of it all than watch the catty fights because again, we saw that for 20 seasons on E and the whole point of this new show on Hulu was to get a more in-depth look of their life. I don't want the surface level catty drama.
I wouldn't mind like at least one catty fight. Like it just like they're all getting along so well. But I do like how they've matured and that they're not fighting over dumb stuff because that just is not really fun for anybody. But you're right, like the businesses have really been a center part of this season, and it all kind of does start with Kris Jenner. This past episode we saw Khloe help her mom prepare for her masterclass as Kris Jenner is going to be providing a step-by-step and how to start a business and be successful masterclass. And Khloe, her new neighbor, was helping her prep all week long. Scott even helped prep a little bit because Kris was really, really nervous. I liked what Khloe said where she was like, even though my mom is built for this, sometimes we still get nervous about the things that we know we're good at. And I really related to that as well. It was nice to see the bubble bath scene and her with the martini. And of course, Kris Jenner ended up killing it with Khloe's help, who was even asked to step on screen for a second to give some advice. I mean, are you taking a masterclass with Kris Jenner? I have to assume the answer is obviously.
I want to take a masterclass from Kris Jenner in my life. Like, if I could wake up and get her advice every day, I would. If we could end days with martinis in the bathtub, I would. Like, if there was a shed in her backyard where I could inflate an air mattress, I'm moving in. Like, if Kris Jenner asked me to, I don't even know, like, pay taxes to her, I would. Like, there's nothing this woman could do to make me fall out of love with her. But I thought it was very endearing to see the nerves because again we see her as this powerful woman and I think she put the pressure on herself because she wanted it to be such a good masterclass. She wanted people to be able to have takeaways. This wasn't just another gig that was going to pay her some money and she doesn't care. I think everything this family does at this point, they're so selective and they want it to be the highest quality possible. And so I'm glad that Khloe was there. I'm glad Khloe lives next door because sometimes we do need the closest people in our lives to lift us up and to remind us that you are very good at this. You do this in our daily life. And I think Khloe had the best advice where she was saying, deliver it as if you're talking to one of your daughters. And I think that was like the key for Kris to really lock in because she does give great advice. I just think maybe she got in her head a little bit about it being, this package and it being filmed and her talking directly to the camera. But I think having Khloe there on set, even having Khloe step in, just helped it feel a lot more normal. Like they were sitting around, the dinner table or drinking martinis.
Yeah, I mean, Khloe has always been like the most supportive sister. She always gives encouraging advice to everybody. She's the person you can lean on. So it was nice to see her take on that role with Scott, in previous episodes, with Kris on this one, and with Kim, because Kim obviously is doing so well since her post-divorce, and she shared that she is going to be taking over the cover for Sports Illustrated, and they are going to the Dominican Republic on Kim Air, flying private jet. Kim has her own plane now. I didn't even know this until this episode. We know Kylie Air, but now we have Kim Air. So this is super, super exciting. Kim has taken her team to the Dominican Republic in her cashmere nude-styled private jet, which really looks like a dream. Kim is feeling herself again after going through the divorce. She's modeling with Balenciaga, doing the cover of Vogue, and now Sports Illustrated. I mean, how sick was that plane? Would you rather be on Kim Air or Kylie Air?
I would love to see a more in-depth comparison. From my perspective, I feel like
Mm-hmm.
Kim Air honestly might be slightly bigger. It just felt very spacious.
Ooh.
And maybe that's because everything is so like nude and monochromatic, but I just think the style of the plane might be slightly larger than Kylie Air. And I think I would just love to have a very like soothing environment like that, especially like I get such bad traveling anxiety to walk in and it be
Mm-hmm.
cashmere and also her throwing around the idea of like giving out like Skims like slides and like robes and these comfy stuff. I'm like, this sounds like a luxurious sleepover. Like I'm ready to go. But
Mm-hmm.
honestly, it's smart because like we see them traveling everywhere. I think they've been using Kylie Air a lot, or they use service where they just rent out a normal private jet for their specific use. But I think between Kylie Air now and Kim Air, I'm like, no wonder they all were able to fly private to the Kravis wedding. They just have them all waiting on a
Mm-hmm.
tarmac. Fill them up with some gas and let's go.
Well, and they also have those beds in the back, which look so comfortable and soft. So they really just travel in style. I love watching the luxury of the Kardashians. Like, that will never get old because they just keep getting richer. Like, even seeing Khloe's pantry and her closet and her home tour and Kris's home tour. Now we're seeing Kim's plane. Like, I really am enjoying all of the luxury. I think this episode was really good. I mean, nothing like insane happened. We know that next week a lot's going to go down with Tristan when Kim finds out about Tristan cheating again. So I got to know what your predictions are for next week and who was your MVP and LVP of the episode.
I mean, predictions for next week, I think it's going to be a lot of Tristan and Chloe. I think that's the reason we got a lot of Kim and
Mm-hmm.
Pete this episode, probably because next week
Yeah.
is just going to be filled with that drama. We see Kim getting the phone call when she's at the gym. We've seen the reaction clip of Chloe still in bed, and we know they both wake up early to work out. So it must be just very, very early that this news is breaking. I'm sure Kris Jenner will be booking it over from next door because she's already up at 4. So I'm excited to see the
Mm-hmm.
family really rally around Chloe because we've seen for years, and even in this episode, Chloe's always there for them. She's always their hype person. She's always there to support them, and she's so loving and caring. I'm excited to see her, feel that back from her family. So then, speaking of MVP and LVP, my MVP is going to have to go to Chloe for 2 reasons. One, her supporting Kris, her
Okay.
helping with the bubble bath and the martinis and hyping her up. But also, did you catch her outfit in the first scene of this episode?
I did.
So
It was
I'm not sure which
beautiful.
one of my uncles, yeah, I'm not sure which one of my uncles like loaned her one of their hunting outfits, but it really brought me back to my childhood. We got the camo, we got the bright orange, like grab your rifle, I'll see you out in the deer stand, Chloe. And my LVP, gosh, I don't know.
Scott, Kendall, Kylie,
But they weren't even
Corey.
there. It's hard to say LVP because
That's
we really just
why.
didn't see anything from them.
Like,
Um,
where are Kendall
I
and
don't know.
Kylie?
Maybe
I thought they were going to show up more.
I know. I think I'm gonna go with Scott because even Chloe said when she was giving him the house tour, it feels like every single time they try to involve him or show him something or invite him over, there's a comment about, well, I'll never sit at this dinner table because I'm never going to be invited. It's like,
Yeah.
well, we invited you here, and she, even Chloe was saying that. She's like, can we just move on? Do we have to keep mentioning that, he feels insecure and that he won't be invited? Clearly, they're making an effort. I need Scott to take a breath, have a little bit more faith in this family. They've not let him go for this many years. So LVP would have to be Scott.
Yeah, Scott, you're never leaving. Kanye's never leaving, and Tristan is never leaving, or maybe he will next week. I think it's going to be really, really rough for him next week, which is good because he cannot be cheating on Chloe. I think my MVP has to go to Mason. I loved hearing Kim talk about that conversation with North. Mason does not get enough credit for being like the best older cousin. He also looked out for North last time when she went on TikTok live when she wasn't supposed to. So I feel like Mason is really just like the example for all of the cousins to follow. And I think the least valuable player is going to Kendall Jenner because we were very invested in her cucumber saga, the past couple of episodes. And then she posted on her story last week that she was going to give it another go. And we still don't have any updates. Like, what happened with your cucumber update? Like, did you end up cutting it? Did Chloe help you? Kourtney? I mean, Allison, before we head out of here, I mean, where do we think we stand now with Kendall versus the cucumber? Like, they have to
I
reunite for another try.
Yeah, and it's gonna look something like this. Yeah, it's gonna
Oh
be
my God.
difficult. It's gonna be dangerous
It's
for
gonna
sure.
be.
And I've said it before. Kendall's a model. She needs her fingers. She needs every part of her body. We can't be risking it. That's probably why Kris wanted the chef to cut the cucumber. She knew she was losing out
In the
on
first
money
place.
every time we nicked a finger. No 10% when we're missing half of our digits. Like, hate to break it to you.
That's fair. So it looks like we're just never going to go anywhere with this cucumber saga. Just stick to the private chef. We love watching the meals. Keep showing us your home tours. And hopefully Kylie comes in before the season ends and we can get a tour of her plane or her house or find out her new baby's name. I mean, there's still so many questions we would like to know. We have 2 episodes left of the Kardashians, so a lot's going to go down. So be sure to let us know your thoughts, your predictions, and your comments in our comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you head out of here. Ring the bell. As always, I am your host, Zachary Reality, joined by Allison Van Dam, and we will catch you guys next week for our Kardashian breakdown. So don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you guys later. Bye.